Okay, this is the conclusion of features that I watch every year. And so this will be covering the winter months. And so we'll start in December, which is a very busy month. And this is a time of year when we do the Christmas Fest, similar to Horror Fest, but it goes by different names. So, like Christmas Film Festival, uh, Holly Jolly Movie Fest, Ring Dim Bells Navidad Celebration. My favorite one was Rocking Around the VCR. I have to bring that back. They've been different every year, and so that can start as early as December the 1st and go all the way to the 25th, but usually not that early. And in the Christmas Fest, there are six features that I watch every year. So we'll start with not this one, another decoy. I do not watch this every year. In fact, I haven't watched this in a long time. It's kind of an overrated Christmas film. One of the first ones is called The Gift. It's a short from 1977. It's only about 17 minutes long. It's directed by a guy named Douglas G. Johnson, who does directed a few Latter Day Saints films, and this is one of them. One of them he did also from 1977 called The Phone Call with Mark McClure. It's a very good short. It's like kind of a comedy thing. So despite the fact that this is a Mormon film, you really don't see much of that in there. There's a part where this guy, this is an old actor by the way, I forget his name, but the guy on the left, but he reads the Christmas story to his family like on Christmas Eve, but that's pretty much about it. I mean, this could just be a moralistic story, but you can see the atmosphere. This is the beginning of it right here. I love the atmosphere leading up to Christmas, the cold mornings, the kid who is played by Brett Palmer, by the way, who I mentioned in the 1991 movie called In Your Wildest Dreams, and I showed you that he was the kind of sleazy bad guy on there, but there he is right there, the little kid, and there's just great scenes of him waking up at like 4 o'clock in the morning with his dad to do chores on the farm, like stuff with milk and things, and it's just I think it's supposed to be set like in the 30s maybe, but it just has a lot of good like the breakfast, the eggs, and it has a nice, satisfying ending. There he is reading the Christmas story, and so yeah, The Gift. That's one of the first ones that I do for Christmas Fest. The next one is called Santa's Christmas Circus, starring Wizzo the Clown. This is from 1966. It's only an hour long, and this is one that I discovered on Tubi.com. It's only available there, and it has the MST3K guys. It's a riff tracks thing when they're making comments, and this is like an instant classic. Here's a picture of the clown. This thing is just disturbing, and all the comments are just hilarious during it. It's become a staple that I will watch every Christmas. I kind of like to get this one in kind of early, like in that, kind of before December 10th, kind of in there. Wizzo the Clown, hilarious, fun watch to add to Christmas Fest. This is another one that I like to get in early in December. It's from 2000. It's called The Perfect Tenant, and this one features an aging Earl Holliman. Sorry, in a supporting role, but it's Maxwell Caulfield's the main character, just at his best. most deceiving best. And this is you can see in the plot there, it mentions Christmas Eve. It's not really a Christmas movie, but it kind of begins on Christmas Eve, and then it ends with kind of him with Caulfield doing a mock Christmas Eve scenario in his house. And it's this is a great, like, I don't think it was on Lifetime, but it's got all the great Lifetime suspense thriller qualities that I like. It's also got a Tracy Nelson in there, Rick's daughter, as the crazed ex-girlfriend of Caulfield. So I just love this movie, especially for the infamous quote.
Are you nuts? How dare you talk like this about Jessica?
Little whore is what she is. Finger-licking good, two-faced slut.
Alright, this is one I like to get in about midway through Horror Fest, kind of in that December the 16th kind of territory. It's like people say, it's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls from Nakatomi Plaza. That is absolutely correct. That was an absolute must-watch for me and many others every December. Okay, next we have another episode of Ozzie and Harriet. This is on a VHS, and it's called At the Emporium. And this is you can look at the plot there. Rick and Wally are both take a job at this kind of, department store place. It's kind of interesting just seeing the way department stores looked in I think this is 1960, 61, somewhere in there. And they're doing it because they're both going after a girl who works there. It's just funny, they're trying to impress her with like salesmanship. And this became a must-watch to me a few years ago. And it's just really kind of paints the atmosphere of Christmas as far as like the shopping and that aspect of it. So a must-watch. All right, then the last must-watch of the Christmas Fest is a 1959 Mexican film called Santa Claus. So it's got some voiceovers. This is the MST3K commentary one. There's another one that they did called Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. I don't like that one as much. I don't necessarily watch that one every year. That's the one with Joel. This is one with Mike. This one, all the commentary is hilarious. The movie itself has a good, is visually very good. See if I can find a quick, some stills here. There's the devil with Lupita, the little girl. There's Santa Claus right there. There's another picture of Santa Claus. So just visually, I really like the way this movie looks. And this is one. It also has the breaks in between where Mike and the Bots sing the Christmas. They have two Christmas songs. They have a band called Santa Claus, and they have a Christmas song at the end, and just the Christmas-related stuff like opening stockings at the end is a must-watch. Usually, I try to get this one in about the 23rd of December, 22nd at the earliest, but 23rd is like the perfect night to watch this. It really has a feel of like Christmas almost being the next day kind of thing. So yeah, Santa Claus 1959. Okay, and then this is one that I watch every year, but with an asterisk. I don't really watch the whole thing. I really just watch maybe at least the last 45 minutes or so. So Christmas Eve when it's on TV. Next, we get to that kind of weird part of that black hole part of December, like December the 26th through December 30th, kind of in there. So there's two movies during that time period that I always watch every year. And the first one is Jason X. I've got the DVD and the VHS of this. I have the DVD because it has commentary and all this extra stuff, and it's kind of strange because talk about Friday the 13th a lot, and my favorite Friday the 13th movie is part two, but I don't watch it every single year. I watch it, once every other year, but I can't say I watch it every single year. I think the only one that comes close besides Jason X to watching every year is Jason Takes Manhattan. And that's one that I will try to get that in December too, but not always, or in the beginning of June, since it has the graduation boat in there. So why is Jason X in late December? I don't really know. It's just kind of, it doesn't feel like this is a winter movie at all, but I like kind of the green tint of the filming in this, and the ending of it feels like kind of an ending of the, fits in with the ending of the year, I guess would be the best way to explain that. But kind of ironic that the one Friday the 13th movie of the year, the movie that I watch every year, is one from 2002. Like an absolute outlier, a horror movie from the 2000s that I like that much, but I really do. This is just a great, it has a lot of the old Friday the 13th elements there, even though it's not, obviously not a grainy footage, and characters are pretty horrible, but it has kind of the same slasher elements, and I consider this one the ending of the franchise. I don't count Freddy versus Jason. All right, and then there's one more, and this is called Five Aces. It's kind of a cult film. It's got Charles Sheen in there, and Christopher McDonald. This is from 1999. That right there pretty much tells you the plot. There's a lot of snow. Here's a good picture. There's a lot of snow in this, so it kind of feels like you could watch this in early December too, or you can watch it could be like early January. But for some reason, I've always fit it in there, kind of in that December the 30th. Try to get it in there around that date, and then usually December 31st is usually something a very random comedy that I've never seen. So Five Aces is always been one of my favorite movies, even though it didn't do well at all. It got pretty bad reviews. January isn't as busy, but it's got a few in there that I do always have to get to. The first one is The Man with the X-Ray Eyes. Is usually try to get it in early in December. It's a good sci-fi film from 1963, only 79 minutes long. The great Ray Milland is in it. It's got a real, kind of shocking ending, and who's the other? Don Rickles is in there. He's good. So it's just, the first time I saw it was on a cold a cold January night. So it just, for some reason, it just kind of works every year. So, and then there's another sci-fi from 1959 called Attack of the Puppet People. I would call it more sci-fi than horror, but it has the great John Hoyt in there as the bad puppet. The guy who shrinks people makes them into puppets. And there's something about this, about kind of the little office that he has, and just kind of kicking back and drinking something warm on a January day, that just works about this movie. Next one is a short, roughly hour Christian film from 1982 called Rock, It's Your Decision. It's a story about a young youth trying to overcome the evils of rock music. And this is a good picture to kind of show you why January, because you've got the bare tree. There's a scene where he goes into the church with his youth director and drinks some, has some coffee, and they're bundled up and stuff. It really feels like a winter type of movie. This is definitely one to watch every year. It's an absolute classic. Oh wow! I found a VHS back of a VHS. Oh my gosh. But the thing is worth a lot of money. Okay, 55 minutes. Alright, next one is called The Intruder Within from 1981. I apologize for not having a good picture of this one. I don't have the VHS. I've got it burned to DVD, and it's also available on YouTube. Chad Everett of Medical, what was that show he was on? Medical something. Joseph Bottoms, brother of Timothy Bottoms, Jennifer Warren. It was a TV movie, and it's incredible how they were able to get away with this kind of crap but also have established actors in some of these TV movies. Really solid stuff back then. This is an Alien ripoff. And I've never seen Alien. I don't think I would like it because I like this because it's more campy and it's cheesy, and it takes place on this huge boat in Antarctica, which is the reason that this fits into January. It doesn't have to be January. It can be really any winter month. Hell, I might watch it tonight. And there's a great scene. All right, any other questions of why I like this? Yeah, so I love the food scene with that kind of rough looking steak and the mashed potatoes. Something you could eat after watching this. But Jennifer Warren and just that little, look at that place right there. I want to go there. There's a scene where Jennifer Warren there and Jennifer Warren, did I say her name right? And then Chad Everett are talking about, there's Chad Everett talking about making an omelet, and he makes an omelet. So he'd probably make some eggs after watching this. And then the final one, must see, this is definitely in January, is a 1983 sci-fi film called War Games. I have this on VHS, and this is one that I found in late December of, I forget the year, but it was in this indoor flea market place they had a lot of VHS in Roanoke, Virginia, and a coworker had mentioned War Games to me as being a great movie to watch. And I'd never seen it. I was like, oh, there it is. I'll pick it up for whatever it was, 50 cents or $1. And I fell in love with this movie. It's not campy. It's just an excellent film. That's the reason I watch it in January, because the first time I saw it was in January. Like the scene that I love is when they go to John Wood's house, and you see the little remote controlled dinosaur flying animal thing going down, and just the music in this is stellar. There's no wasted characters in this movie. So many great veteran characters in this movie, and you almost forget that it's Matthew Broderick. He's not annoying like he was in Ferris Bueller. He's a guy you really root for. You really like. He's really likable in this movie. Kind of an outsider from people at school, and he's still kind of cool, but he's I just really like his performance. And this is just one of my favorite movies, War Games. It never gets old. So many great actors in this. This is probably in that, you don't want to wait too long on this. It's kind of really try to get this in before like January 20th, somewhere in there. So follow it with a pizza. All right, February, not many days. Got to get some films in. This is the first one. This is usually very early February. This can be late January, but I think in recent years it's mostly been started in very early February, like the 1st, somewhere in there. The Omen from 1976. I absolutely hate this VHS cover. It's not an original, but it was just one that I happened to find in a Roses in Ashland one year, and this is it's got some kind of coldish scenes, but it doesn't really feel that much like a winter movie. It just happens to lead into sequels that do, or at least one sequel that has a winter movie, and I do like to watch these in succession, fairly close to each other. get the continuity there. The Omen 1976. When this thing starts up and he's in the Gregory Peck's in the park with the wind blowing, meeting the priest. It's just like I feel like I've got a long way to go with this series here. It's always a great feeling. Wonderful movie. All right, this is the one and only sports thing that you'll see in this list. NFL films. Super Sunday is one that I like to watch, preferably the night before the Super Bowl, which will be later this year, so it'll be a little different. Super Sunday. It only goes up to Super Bowl 22, which is incredible. I mean, there's like 30-some missing from this, but I like the 70s stuff mostly. The atmosphere of this really gets you think about the days of yore in the NFL playoffs. So this is a must-watch every year. And then this one is the sequel to The Omen, Damien Omen 2 from 1978. And this one usually, you don't want to wait too long between the viewings, between Omen and Omen 2. A week. Don't want to go more than a week on this because it's a direct continuation of the story. Now this VHS box is much better. It's an original, as you can tell. It has, these are not in the movie, which is awesome. And so this is one that you really like to coincide with snow. So it's not always going to happen. In fact, it usually doesn't happen. But if you can get a heavy snow somewhere in that early February after watching The Omen, then it works out. Last year, it worked out as perfectly as it ever will. The stars will never line up like that again. I've got video where I'm walking in the deep snow and I'm talking about looking forward to The Omen. I think walking to Jersey Mike's, but if you can't get it, at least get something that's at least find a very, very cold day for this, but otherwise, pray for snow because there's some gorgeous snow scenery in this movie. It's almost like one of the main characters in the film or supporting act. Damien Omen 2 every single year. You could never ever watch this in any other like spring, summer, even fall. I can't even imagine doing that. I can imagine seeing Omen, the first one, but again, you have to line it up and watch them back to back to back. All right, there's another one that you have to have, or you really want to have snow outside to watch. North of the Sun. This just captures the coldest feelings on Earth, and you really want to be in just freezing mode while watching this, and preferably snow outside. I uploaded this to YouTube with some bad sound about a month ago, just in case this VHS ever goes bad. It's a rare one. This guy goes to live with this is from the release of this is like 1985, but it takes place in I think the early 70s. At least most of it starts in 1960, but his journey in this place in Alaska where he's lives with these Eskimos, and they hunt whale and all this, and seals and stuff. Just a fascinating documentary, fascinating watch. I love this thing. Gordon Eastman, rest in peace. Another one that you really want to pray for snow is called The Snow Beast from 1977. It's another made-for-TV movie. It's kind of along the same lines as The Intruder Within 1981 as far as the production of it. It looks very similar. This is one that you want to watch if there's a deep snow and it's like the day after the deep snow when it's still hanging in there and it's kind of sunny outside. There's some scenery, a lot of sunny scenery with packed snow, like afternoon type shots in there. Another movie with Clint Walker and a lot Bo Svenson, these guys like Robert Logan, Sylvia Sidney from Aunt Marion from Omen 2 is in this. It's incredible. A lot, just all the capable veteran actors, and I believe that Brett Palmer once again is in this as well. Has a short scene, and I'm pretty sure that's him, but he wasn't credited, so I added him to IMDb. Let's see if he's still there. All right, there it is, Brett Palmer as John. Still on IMDb, no one's changed it. All right, and then the last one for February is The Final Conflict, also called Omen 3, with Sam Neill. And this is one that fits in pretty well at the end of February. Again, you don't want to wait too long between Omen 2 and Omen 3. This one doesn't have much winter scenes at all. It feels like, I mean, actually, there's some parts where it feels like it could be winter, but it's almost more like a spring. I don't know what month they do fox hunting, but there's fox hunting scene in there, so it almost seems more like a March type of look. But I could be, I don't know. Some of it, maybe it looks like fall, but that's the last one for February. Omen 3 VHS. Okay, so the final film of the year of features, which goes from, like I explained in part 1, from kind of mid-March begins and then loops back around. Feels like that's the calendar of features. And the last one is Omen 4, The Awakening, from 1991, another is a made-for-TV film. It's easily the worst of the four, and this one is one where you can wait. You can wait a couple weeks if you want on this, from Omen 3 to Omen 4. It's almost, you don't even have to watch it, but I just watch it every year as a completist. Feels like, now there's actually some scenes in here that have a little snow, with the parents and Delia outside with the dog, and they're trying to decide, can she keep the dog, and then Ryder is the name of the dog actor, but that scene looks like kind of a late February type of snow, very end of winter, but the rest of the movie has more of a, I don't know, kind of really end of winter thing, like something, like things are changing back around. And so at the end of the film, there's something about the scene in the cemetery, and it just pans out, and you see the upside down cross, and the Delia and the brother Alexander and the dad, after the mother supposedly shot herself, leaving. It feels like something new is starting to. There's a newness of something, like things starting back over. So it kind of feels like that's why this is kind of the last of the year in features. So preferably you want to get this one in maybe right before the time change in March. So that's kind of how you book in or how I do it for the season of features. It's kind of in that, after that time change is the beginning. Spring kind of begins to start. You watch April Fool's Day. You watch some of those cheesy. You start with those cheesy films like Terror at Red Wolf Inn. Feels like a beginning. It's spring break, kind of as your first one, and then you get into April Fool's Day, and then you go all the way around. You come back, and you get Omen 4 as the closer. So I hope you guys have enjoyed these videos, and I will be signing off. So may you all have happy features throughout the year.